Hi Montana, day 60. We are 2/3 of the way done. This morning in Business and Labor, we had 4 hours worth of hearings. We had 4 bills because we're not meeting on Mondays. We heard House Bill 603, which would allow distilleries and microbreweries to keep their tasting rooms open until 10 p.m. We heard House Bill 582, which is another bill aimed at preventing puppy mills, but with way less teeth in it than the one we heard last week. We also heard Senate Bill 44, which is a bill that would hold patients harmless when they receive a $60,000 air ambulance bill and their insurance only pays $12,000 and they get stuck with a $40,000, it's called balance bill. The Senate Bill 44 is aimed at preventing that. So that is totally worth the time that we spent on it. We spent some of our time in committee hearing testimony that was not really on the bill. For example, one woman said that she came to Montana after being arrested for animal cruelty charges and although she was looking for a rich rancher on the online dating service, she only found a poor rancher, a poor cowboy. Now she's in Montana and she doesn't think that Montana laws should restrict puppy mills. She talked about her Nubian goats as well. So it was irritating because it was completely off the bill and taking a long time when we had real problems to discuss. But that's part of being a representative. On the floor today, we had 12 bills, and more than half of them, 7 of them, we had over 90% agreement. They covered topics from taxes to campaign reports, milk regulations, county elections, paleontology, subdivisions, and insurance. We passed House Bill 473, which is a gas tax. It's 8 cents per gallon of extra tax on every gallon of gas. I really struggled with whether or not to vote for that because I know that most Montanans really have a hard time filling their tank up to begin with. The Highway Patrol gets funded with that money, and that is the way that Montana funds our roads and our bridges, and we are in really bad need of repairs on our roads and bridges. And besides those 2 reasons, there's a huge federal match. It's basically like giving away $20 so that you can get $100 in return. So that passed today on almost a 50-50 vote. We also passed a tax on online companies like Netflix, which will raise a little bit of money for the state and should not affect consumers. We passed Senate Bill 143, which allows teachers to retire and then go back to teaching while they draw their retirement. So teachers could draw a salary and a retirement at the same time. I know that sounds like it would be a great deal for me, a teacher, but I voted against it because it's really irresponsible to put our entire retirement system in jeopardy. It's really important to keep these publicly funded retirement systems sound. We passed yet one more bill to expand landlord rights at the expense of tenant rights. That's not a huge surprise considering that more than half of the House of Representatives are landlords. Guess how many jobs bills we passed today? 1. Guess how many infrastructure bills we passed today? 1. They were the same bill, but still, we passed a jobs and an infrastructure bill. Not enough. Not big enough projects by any means. It's not over, and it's just a gross way to fund both of them. So I did not enjoy taking that vote today. We need to do more. We have to do more. I will be so frustrated and disappointed if the majority members of that House use this teeny tiny little infrastructure and jobs bill today to as an excuse to not fund infrastructure and jobs bills on a real scale later on. I'm worried about that. I'll let you know what happens, though. See you tomorrow.